Right from when I was small, it's what I wanted to do. And my dad had a friend that was in the RCMP, and I'm sure he got tired of coming over to our house because I would pepper him with questions about what he did. And it was just always a job that I wanted to do. And now that I'm there, I got to say it hasn't disappointed. I actually still love coming to work every day, and I got to say the most satisfying part of my career so far has been the emergency response team. I just really enjoy the duties, enjoy the people that are on the team, and the extra training that we get to do, and then also the extra calls that we get to go to. Not a lot of rounds. That's okay. You're just doing something like that. Something different.
That range with some decision making stuff. Some people told me that's a
but probably less is better. But it's up to you, bro. And then at the back, I don't know, you want to set up a little sim thing? Or being on this team has been the most rewarding part of my career. And the team's important because you have to trust everyone that's on the team that's around you. And like any team atmosphere, you don't have to love everybody that's on that team, but you have to respect them for their abilities and their skill sets. And that's what we have on this team. So, like I said, out of my career in 12 years, this has been the most rewarding part of it, being able to do these training days and be able to go to the calls. And I think it's one of those teams where people join up that want to be police officers. They want to do this job. They want to be SWAT cops or be on an emergency response team. And so I was fortunate enough that it worked out in my career to be with these guys. They're advocating doing this, boom, boom, and you shuffle back, boom, 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 failure drill.
Secondary as well. And when you're satisfied, let the primary hang and load up your pistol. Okay, 1 round to the upper window. Is the line ready? Line is ready. Fire! Drill. Fire! Okay, 1 round upper window. Line ready. Fire! 1 round upper window. Line is ready. Fire! Fire!
I think probably a lot of what they base it on is what they see on TV. That it's people rappelling out of helicopters and coming smashing through windows and stuff, which is really not what it's like. A lot of what we do is fairly mundane and not that exciting. Some of it definitely is, but I think the public, because we're not really advertising what we do that often, we're kind of behind the scenes, which is what we like to be. Probably there's a lot of, I guess, our lack of knowledge about what we are and how we do it, so there's a bit of a mystique about it. But I think probably the perception of what we do is based on what they see on TV, which, like I said, a lot of it is just kind of regular stuff. If it's a person that's barricaded inside a house and we're negotiating, or the negotiators are doing their job, we'll be on perimeter for sometimes hours, and that part of it's not very exciting, especially when it's minus 30 or 40. It's definitely not very exciting. Well, I can't take credit for it, but one of our team leaders had said what SWAT stands for is sit, wait, and talk. And honestly, a lot of what we do is that. If we get called out, it's not an escalation of the situation, it's a de-escalation, because we have trained negotiators that will talk to people for hours if it means a peaceful resolution. So I've been on calls that have gone 11 hours, and in the end the negotiators have talked the person that was armed and barricaded, talked them out of the residence without shots being fired, which is our ultimate goal. We're there for the safety of the public, but also the safety of the suspect. Well, that's very important because you're going to go to the most high-risk calls that there are, so you have to trust everyone that's on your team, and that's the whole idea. One individual can't work, can't solve the problems we go to. It has to be every single member doing their specific job. So
Your main objective is what?
Save the person.
Get between the bad guy, right, and the hostage. So it's going to be dynamic. Like in the way what brought bang here is that we're going to have it similar, just like we do with doing a real call. So we're going to say that we've got a perimeter, we've got a react team. Negotiations have failed, right? Negotiations failed by TL. Somebody in there, so we've got the green light to go ahead and do a hostage rescue entry. So we're going to get you guys to stack up or which way you want. Now your entry point's going to be the back entry, and we'll clear it that way.
does one of you guys want to go point again, since you know what's going on?
Yeah.
I'll go point again.
And then when we switch it up later, one of us can
Sure.
switch the target, so you guys can
Yeah.
jump in as well.
Sounds good.
You guys might as well go first. First again, because it's a different room, dude.
Yeah, you stay out of the three or back.
Same with me, or what?
So you go
No,
one
no,
and
Tim will stay
I'll
through
go
your back
two.
as you engage the target. We'll put
Okay.
someone else for the.
Okay, I'll jump in with him. Please search warrant! Please! Go, Andy, go.
That was good. And we'll try to do that point. There's responsibility, and again, hostage rescue. So get your mind around that.
And everyone understands the
Do
point,
that.
right? Like, some guys are confused. It's like rapid deployment. If you have a long hallway with multiple openings, someone's got to step up and cover down and those sides till they get bumped. So the number two, if he's my number one guy, right, you're going to come behind him. I'm going to hold him. I'm going to look back. If I got all you guys, I'm going to tell Timmy, bump two openings. He's going to flow by both doorways. We're going to come in and take care of it. But it's going to be a little slower. He's going to have to react for the guys to stack up on the door and throw the bang before he moves. So he can't bump that quickly.
Yeah.
Roger. Go ahead. Let's take it. All the way.
Open door right. I got points.
Tony, I'm with you. So what we just simulated was a hostage rescue where negotiations have broken down. Pretty much everything that we can do to avoid a lethal confrontation has failed, and so we have to go in and do a hostage rescue. So what we do is set up targets in here that are reactive in the sense that you have to decide, are you going to shoot or not shoot, and there's often a hostage in there that you have to deal with. So we just get a stick of guys working through the rooms and then doing the techniques that we were taught to do to make it muscle memory, so if we get that call this afternoon, then everyone's kind of on the same page. So I can show you what we're shooting in here if you want. You want to come down here? So in this room, the objective was obviously, you got a hostage, she's got her hands up, and you got a suspect that is obviously a lethal threat, pointing a firearm at him. We know from our intel that it's a hostage rescue scenario, and so the idea here is to put that person down, to stop their deadly behavior as quickly as we can. It was a similar thing. It was, except this time you have two targets and no hostages, so it allows us to practice our entry techniques and to get both officers engaged in live fire. The other thing is it gets us comfortable working with the rest of our teammates in a live fire environment. And you can imagine that there's a little bit of stress involved in doing that, but the more we do it, then in real life, if it ever happens, when it happens, we're mentally prepared to do that with our teammates, and that's what we do. Any TAC team in North America will train more than they'll ever deploy on live calls, for the most part. So the training is the more important than the actual live calls for us, and that's why we just do it and do it. And you saw that the debriefing took longer than the actual scenario, and that's because we'll critique it as much as we can to make sure that we have perfect practice, to make perfect in real life, as opposed to just practicing for practice's sake, right? It's got to be ideal every time, and and we can always do stuff better. So that's what we always push ourselves to make sure that everything that we did was done as well as it can be done. Because the public's counting on us, if this ever happens in Saskatoon, that we're going to come in and do what we have to do. And I'm confident after seeing our guys work that we would. The duties that we do on the ERT team are secondary to our primary jobs, meaning that all of us have jobs in either investigations or patrol, and we do this as a part-time team. So we get monthly time to train in our techniques and our tactics and our weapon systems, and then we go back to our regular jobs, meaning that we're always on call from our regular jobs or from home because we don't have a full-time team like other agencies.
Jimmy broke the window.
Yeah, and then on the passenger side, and Pozniak with my allowance took out the vent window to reach over to open the door to try and do the AED. So we did that, but we didn't have any choice. It was life over limb kind of thing. All of the calls for service will come across the laptop. We can, run license plates, query people on CPIC, find out if they have warrants or things of that nature. And then also if they've been involved with us in a criminal matter, we'll have a mugshot on the computer. So when people give a name, we can verify it's them based on the mugshot that shows up. You know what? I guess probably the monthly training and the skills that it gives me as a patrol officer still, I'm able to use those when I go out in the street and deal with people every day or deal with serious calls that aren't necessarily an ERT call. I enjoy the monthly training. I enjoy, hanging out with a group of guys that are like-minded, that like their work, like coming to work, like that part of the job. So in that way it's kind of infectious. It's fun just to go do those things, and I enjoy the duties that are involved with it. The extra time on the range and the extra tactical training. It's just something that I enjoy.
To transition from the long gun to your handgun in the event that there's a stoppage in the long gun. Okay. The course of fire is a little bit different than what we've done. I think we've all done this maybe once this year earlier. So we'll just start again here at the 50 yards. So if you guys just want to find a target, line up on the 50-yard line and face down range, we'll get your weapons loaded up.
Well, it's fun to shoot lots, but the cleaning takes way longer than the shooting does because if you don't maintain your weapon systems, it's not gonna work when you need it to work. So we're very meticulous about tearing down our weapon systems and cleaning them very well so that they're well maintained, they last, but more importantly, they're gonna work when they're supposed to work. Just gotta find an empty mag and test that. Organic, was it? Nice. I think you want to just use one set of these things, or what?
Yeah. You want to